Hello, my name is Jorb, I love gear, and this is Behringer's Deepmind 12. It is 12 analog voices, 3 envelopes, a filter that can switch between 12 and 24 dB per octave, 2 oscillators per voice, and 2 LFOs per voice, built-in arpeggiator, built-in effects, and an incredibly flexible modulation matrix. Sounds like a wonderful piece of kit, right? Yeah, it does. It's all the features people wish their other analog polysynths had. Well, this has it all. And on top of that, it's less expensive. What I'm pointing to here is a used listing that just sold. What I'm pointing to here is a used listing that just sold. And what I'm pointing to here is a new listing that sold not that long ago. You're probably saying, wow, that is pretty cheap. It is. So, all that compounded, why don't I see these everywhere? Why isn't everybody playing them? I can't figure it out. So, I'm trying to spread the gospel. I'm trying to show you, please, I'm begging you, take a look at this keyboard. Take a look at this synthesizer. Find out if it's right for you. So you're going to hear a couple patches. This keyboard doing a couple things that you would think it'd be good at, a couple things you wouldn't think it'd be good at. And, yeah. Let's go for a ride. Hope you enjoy. So I'm going to do a couple patches from a few different patch families, so to speak. I'm going to explain everything. Let's start with pads. Okay. You can hear a lot of what's going on, and you can see a lot of what's going on here in the visuals of the VCA and VCF envelope, but the oscillator setup for this, both oscillators are tuned to the same footage. All 3 waveforms are going, which is a square on oscillator 2, and then a saw and a square together on oscillator 1. But one of the secret sauce things in this patch is the noise being modulated by LFO1. So you see LFO1 is affecting the noise level and the frequency of the filter, but LFO2, which is on this slewed sample and hold, is affecting the rate of envelope 1. So it's kind of random. And you get this fluttering, sort of the noise. I think it adds a lot. You can see some other things here in the mod matrix. The mod wheel is doing envelope 1 attack and envelope 1 release. That's just, in my eyes, affords you a lot of expressiveness. So, how about something crazier, wackier, much more complicated? And I think it's in B. So, this is a patch that's already on the Deepmind. It ships with the Deepmind. I don't know all the intricacies, but I'll explain it a little bit. And let's just listen. Wonderful, very atmospheric. First thing I'll show you all the effects on that were two-plate reverbs. So a lot of the action is happening here in the modulation matrix. A lot of this is self-explanatory, but the things I will explain, pressure is aftertouch, right? And you're getting both the level of oscillator 2, which is nothing by default, and opening up your filter. VCA active is the VCA gain on the active oscillators, on the active voices. So the mod envelope ramps up with the VCA. So not only is the VCA opening, it's also getting gainier. It's also getting more gain as it opens up. So you get an even more dramatic increase in gain and increase in volume. A couple other things, mod 6 and mod 2. So as envelope 3 goes on, LFO1 affects the resonance more. And as the mod wheel goes up, modulation 6, which is unipolar LFO1, which means it's only positive modulation, is affecting the VCF frequency. You see that, you kind of hear it too. So there you go. A look at the richness of the mod matrix. Okay, let's try something you wouldn't think the Deepmind would be good at. Bass sounds. We'll start with something really simple. I came in with no plan, but there you go. That's one oscillator. You can see here the envelopes are really simple. VCA is really just a gate on or off, and the VCF is just decay. Nothing else. There you go. Okay, how about something a little angrier? You'll probably hear noise. That's coming from the effects section, mostly this multiband distortion, which is turned to almost totally all the way up. Angry. And really all the things you're hearing are coming from this effects section. So let's turn that off, go to bypass. Not a lot happening with just the synth, but that's part of the sound design tools available to you on the Deepmind. Cool. Well, maybe you also really want to emulate the sounds of some classic keyboards. Well, Deepmind can do that too. So here's a patch that is shipped with the Deepmind again. Comes stock, and if you ask me, does a fabulous job of emulating a rotary organ. We'll leave that cut in, even though it sucked. So, what we're hearing here in this organ patch is both oscillators, first and foremost, but a VCA envelope that's essentially a gate. While the key is down, sound is coming through. You see a shape here on the VCF envelope, but the filter envelope, but when we look at the patch here, it was at 0. It's not actually changing anything. And mod envelope as well, it's just a gate, but it's not changing anything either. So, what we have in the mod matrix is one thing, the mod wheel, changing the speed of effect 1, which is, of course, our rotary speaker. And then after that is a rack amp dual pitch, which I'll take that out so you can hear what it is without it. So somewhere in the middle you get both octaves, like an organ. The rack amp is just an amp simulator, so gain and a fancy EQ to convince you that you're hearing this mic through a speaker, and just a touch of plate reverb. So what this patch sounds like without any of the effects, not very convincing, but with them on, I think it's perfect. Okay, how about something else? How about an electric piano? This is another patch that's already on the Deepmind, and to my ear sounds quite like a Fender Rhodes. Wonderful. I really think that sounds excellent. There's also a phaser that comes in with the mod wheel. And you'll hear a lot of the difference. A lot of what makes this, in my eyes, a good patch is velocity sensitivity. Okay, and there's a lot of tricks involved in doing that. So we'll start with the effects section. Rack amp makes it sound more like a real instrument. It's an amp simulator. It breaks up and has speaker cabinet emulation, which is a fancy EQ to make it sound like you're hearing a amp that's mic'd in a room. The phaser, of course, that comes in with the mod wheel, and just a touch of hall reverb. Okay, and what's going on in the modulation section is the rest of our action. The mod wheel, that's what it looks like, just does one thing, is the mix of FX3, our phaser. The note number does three things. So what that is, the higher up the keyboard you get, the higher your note number is. And so what this is telling us is the higher our note number, the lower our decay, the lower our release, and the higher our pulse width modulation depth. Right here. See, there you go. Lower note sticks around just a little longer. To me, makes it sound a lot like a proper keyboard instrument. Envelope 3 is changing oscillator 2 pitch. You see it just goes straight down. But since this is synced, what you're hearing is every time the cycle of oscillator 1 starts over, oscillator 2 is reset as well. So they never sound out of tune. They're getting reset together. So you just change it. So you hear a change in harmonic content. So if we turn that off and then turn this up, doesn't quite sound right. But with sync on, there it is. So a very interesting thing, and it's all about changing your harmonics over time to give you a convincing piano sound. I think it's very effective. It also does our tone mod depth, which again gives us almost like a different vowel sound. Excuse me. On oscillator 2. Okay, that one was really long. So, who are you, and why might you want to buy Behringer's Deepmind 12? Well, my notes are down here. I'm pretty sure they're in camera, and they're going to stay there. So, maybe you're new to synthesis. You've been messing around in a DAW, you're a software guy, whatever. You want to try hardware. Well, if you're not sure exactly what you like, you can try a lot of things here on the Deepmind, and it's not that expensive. So if you end up not liking it, and you bought it used, you can sell it for exactly what you paid for it. Okay, maybe you're already into synthesis. You're stepping into it. You've already got a mono synth. It does what you want. You like subtractive synthesis. That's your bag. And you want a polysynth to go with it. You want all those Juno chords, those 80s chords that everybody talks about, everybody loves. Perfect. The Deepmind can do it. Well, maybe you've got a couple other keyboards. Maybe they're vintage. Maybe you have a Juno. Maybe you have something else that you're worried about playing live and you want something to perform live with. Well, most of the sounds are here, and some incredible performance tools in the mod matrix and everything that's available on the panel with the Deepmind. So you should certainly consider that. This is the only keyboard I play live. Sometimes I control other sound modules with it, but this is the keyboard I play live with. So, that's our journey. It was not that organized. It was not that structured. It was a little loose. But you know what I want from you guys most of all is feedback. If this was helpful, guess what? Put it in the comments. If this wasn't helpful, put that in the comments. If there's things, aspects of this you did like, aspects of this you did not like, put those in the comments. If you think I'm an asshole, don't put that in the comments. But thank you for your feedback. If there's anything you do want me to explain more that came up in this video, I would love to have somebody tell me what to make next. I want to do this. I want to share the information that I have, and I want to teach people things. So ask me questions. Or if there's a patch in this you heard that I didn't explain part of, or you want some more details on, let me know. Or a patch you heard somewhere else that you want somebody to explain, let me know. Okay, well, I'm rambling. I've been Jorb. This has been the Deepmind 12 by Behringer. Thank you for joining me. I love gear. Please comment. please subscribe. Respect me. Thank you. Respect everybody. Good night.